Why do we experience dark nights of the soul? Let's get into this and help you, my writer friend, on your journey moving forward. So this series of clips and part of my life's work is helping people like you. If you are a raw creative talent and you want to become a pro screenwriter as soon as possible, this message is for you. I am a screenwriter of 40 plus screenplays, made a few independent feature films, and I also really love supporting writers to shift their limiting beliefs and move forward in their career as fast as possible to realize their dreams as storytellers at the professional level and impact the audience and the world with their ideas and their feelings. So this is going to be about the dark night of the soul and how do you make peace with your own dark nights of the soul? What's it about? And how can you use those insights to tell amazing stories at the next level? So let's get into it. I'll make 3 points about making peace with dark nights of the soul. Number 1, why does this happen? It happens because our psyche is this labyrinth of, I guess, there's our perception, and the way we design our perception is this whole labyrinth of awareness of how to make sense of the world. And the dark night of the soul is the experience of going to a deep and sometimes very challenging place inside our psyche. And often it brings up fear, shame. It tends to happen when we're significantly challenged, generally around lack of a relationship that we want, love relationship, or best friendship. It could be usually love, could be lack of health, or it could be lack of money, or career progression, or stagnation in your career. There's just opportunities in your career that aren't coming as fast as you think they could. That's when we tend to have those experiences of dark night of the soul. So that's why it happens. It's part of, it's inevitable part of the journey as being human. You're going to come to the points where you just get to know who you are at a deeper level. And it's a dark night of the soul because the process of understanding who we are at the deeper levels, we bring that lantern into that deep, dark place in the forest and we see what's there. And we realize it's just us. But we understand ourselves at that deeper level, and that discovery is beautiful. And then, so number 1, why it happens is because it's just a natural part of the process of being human. Number 2, in story structure theory, it happens at the end of the second act. And the reason it happens is to fuel the phoenix rising from the ashes, to have the hero have enough courage to face down the challenge of Act 3 and definitively make the change in that transformation. So, for example, in Shawshank Redemption, when Andy Dufresne gets thrown into solitary confinement for 2 months, it is the lowest point in the story, deepest, darkest place. And it's also about how Red watches him have that experience. And Andy, who's a freight train of hope, and the movie's about him getting tested over and over and over again about hope, and will he go to despair? Red is technically the protagonist, I would argue, because he changes from a man of despair to a man of hope. But he learns by watching Red, by watching Andy, who is facing this deep, dark experience of how do you have hope at that juncture? And he gets thrown into that solitary for 2 months because the warden now has it in for him, because the warden's threatened by him. I mean, it looks like a totally impossible situation. And yet he still has hope. And that's when he also knows he has to move into Act 3 and then escape jail. So that's the second point, is how Dark Night of the Soul functions in screenplay structure. And all movies that are traditionally structured have some sort of moment of despair at the end of Act 2 that sets up the epic nature of the confrontation with the dragon in Act 3. So all the time, and I just want this relationship. that I can't seem to have, or I've got this health challenge that I can't seem to shift. Like all those are different aspects of dark nights of the soul. And the way that you face it, the way that part of you wants to run like hell, and part of you wants to ignore it, and part of you wants to rebel against it, or whatever your totally human reaction is, notice it. Because in your pattern, in your energy, the way you deal with your dark night of the soul, that's what you're writing about in your next story. Your next story is a metaphor for how you, at this point in your life journey, are dealing with your dark night of the soul. And there's a direct correlation between your insights in your own life, the energy of it, the feel of it, and then how it can metaphorically be expressed in the characters in your screenplay. And if you're not writing at that level, then you probably have a big opportunity to go from where you are now to actually writing at that level. And that's how you're going to move the audience at that deeper level. And that's how you get paid as a professional. So if that was helpful, awesome. I'll review quickly. Number one, why does it happen? Because it's an inevitable part of us getting to know ourselves as human beings. Where does it happen in story structure? Theory, it's the end of Act 2, getting the hero ready for Act 3. And number 3, what can you do about it? Just be aware of it. Try to relax through the experience of it and learn your specific way of doing it. And then from that insight, express that metaphorically in your story. And that's going to impact readers in a much more powerful way. Or if you're a writer-director, you can realize that in the production of the story and impact the audience directly. So hopefully that was helpful. If you were like, man, that was really helpful, and I'd really like some support from my own dark nights of the soul, or how to articulate that into my screenplay, reach out to me. I can help you. I meet people wherever they're at and help them the best way I can. And it's always customized to whatever your situation is and whatever sort of help you're looking for, and you know, and the things I have available to help you. There's a wide range of options. I hope you have a really awesome day.